Okay, hey, how you doing? How's everybody going? I'm here to answer 5 of the questions that TurboManiac posted on YouTube. He's my cousin. I helped him with a lot of the capture videos that we did when we did the two-player games. I'm gonna see that coming up in about a week or two. He's very quick with it. He has editing software. It's pretty good. But he posted 5 questions and I have several notes on here. Never mind the stick figure. I have so many notes on here in which I kept reiterating, going back and going back and going back and changing what I thought were my answers for these questions. Now, he had as a first question, he put name a game you enjoy that has the year in the title. Now, some of the first things that popped up immediately were going to be Bomberman or King of Fighter, and you have some of the other games that have like 2000. Like, some sports games are good. I don't really like sports games that much, obviously, but I would think the one game that I have a little soft spot for, due to nostalgia purposes, would be King of Fighters 95. Now, King of Fighters 95 is when I was first introduced to King of Fighters. It was on the PlayStation, and TurboManiac, my cuz, had it as a game disc, and we would fight each other on it back and forth. And I was just learning all these new moves, these new characters. It was different than Street Fighter. I was always used to Street Fighter, and then you had this little guy who looks like Freddy Krueger, but then his tag team partner with this big guy with this giant boulder that he could swing around. You had these guys who fought like Ryu and Ken, but weren't Ryu and Ken. You had this whole team that was just a bunch of girls that would kick your ass, if anything. And then, you learn so many new moves, abilities, ways to play the game, and it was a 3-on-3 fight, which I wasn't used to. That's kind of the thing that set up all these Marvel vs. Capcom games, was these 3-on-3s that King of Fighter is one of the pioneers for, and then they made it seem so flawless back then. It was really good, and one of the best games that I remember playing as a kid. And so King of Fighters 95 for question number 1 gets to my pick. Number 2 was name a game you like but didn't get a chance to play. Now, initially, when I spoke to him, I kind of was thinking, well, I never played like Dead Rising after the first one. I wanted to always play number 2. I loved number 1, and then I heard great things about 2. But I had to reevaluate and rethink, and I think people are going to really hate me for this one. I think one of the games that I've never got to play was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yeah, I never played it. I think it was on 64 or whatever like that. Never got it. Never had a 64. Never got to play it. And the worst part about it is I never really got to play anything beyond the Super Nintendo game A Link to the Past, which is considered to me one of the best Legend of Zelda games out there. But Ocarina of Time, people put that on the pedestal, like that's top tier, like always up there. And then even onward, going from that, you have Ocarina of Time. You had the one where he turns into a wolf. I don't even know if that one is done. That's on the Wii or the GameCube. I never got to play that. I actually bought it and didn't play it when I had the Wii. And then now I have no chance to do that. Then I also had a Skyward Sword, which apparently everybody liked and really enjoyed, and it got a good use of the Wii U remote controls, but again, something that I've never been able to play. So Ocarina of Time is one of those games. That's my top answer right there. But then going forward with the Legend of Zelda series, I never got actually to play any of them. So, but Ocarina of Time, I kind of want to venture back. I have a Wii U now, so I guess I could just finally buy it. Well, my son has the Wii U. I could finally buy it and then actually start playing it and then see what's the hype about. What's all the hubbub going on? Let's see. Number 3, I actually had to go back again. Something I had to go back and change. Name a remake or remastered game you enjoyed that sets out for the original. Now, my initial reaction was Resident Evil. Resident Evil, when they just started redoing them and they released them on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 also, I think. Resident Evil 0, I mean, it stood out to me. I mean, you got the graphics that are amazing. Control scheme's very different. How everything even feels. They even change up a lot of some of the things in the game that make it it just feels like a totally different experience from when they first released it, and then the re-release just made it way better. It made it what Resident Evil was supposed to be, like a horror game. But I do also remember playing Metal Gear. Now, Metal Gear 3, Snake Eater, one of my favorite ones, they had a re-release of it called Metal Gear Substance, or Subsidence, something like that. Now, Metal Gear Substance, it re-released. It came out with Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2 for the PlayStation 2, and it came out with other things inside the game that added so many elements that kept you playing. I mean, this is kind of like what DLC was for right now, but it came with a lot more content for your purchase. And I think they also added what it was in the game. They changed how the camera moved. The camera movements were. So you had a 3D camera scope on it, which actually helped you out in a lot of the missions. So they changed that element. You had to move the same way, but with a 3D camera, you're able to actually see around you a lot more better. Because within Metal Gear Solid series, there's always a standalone view. Like, you couldn't change the camera angles unless you were doing first person. That was it. No, they changed this so you could do 3D, and then from there they started doing 3D over until most of their games afterwards. So Resident Evil was my initial pick, but I think Metal Gear was one of my better picks because I really, really liked it. I had Metal Gear 3, bought it, beat it, played it, loved it. Then I got Metal Gear 3 Substance, the remake, the re-release of it, and it just became a better experience for me. I was able to play it better, and I had more enjoyment with all the extra content that came with it. So that gets my pick. Number 4, 3 games you like but aren't good at. Now, again, so many notes, scribbles everywhere. I had to break it down while watching your video, Yo TurboManiac, sir. I didn't even know that one of your games that you that didn't get any franchise, no sequels, no prequels, Ninja Spirit. Now, Ninja Spirit, that's a TurboGrafx game. I was introduced to it by Yo TurboManiac, and it was a great game. It was so cool. Like, you're a ninja, and you're just throwing dynamite, you're throwing hooks, you're throwing swords, ninja stars everywhere. There's ninjas trying to kill you left and right, and you know, I'm probably better at it now, but as a kid growing up, you know, I'm just trying to just beat the first boss. Like, yeah, I did it, I got it. But, you know, you don't realize, like, I'm watching him play, and he makes it seem so simple. You know, he's getting past all these giant zombies that kill you one hit, or these dragons and stuff like that. And I'm just like, how am I getting past the second level? I keep dying to this axe guy flying from tree to tree, and then he just kills me automatically. Or definitely, I think the third stage, I've never got past the third stage. Never. I sucked at it. It's supposed to be an easy game to a lot of people. And I had to look up footage, and people who play the game, and they're just like, oh, look at this, watch me defeat this boss. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, the hell? I can't even do that. What's going on? And I'm pretty good at some games. Let's see. Demon's Souls. I know. I like the game. I love the games. If you want to include Bloodborne onto it, I like the design. I like the whole. It's not a horror aspect, but it is kind of a horror aspect because behind every corner could be something that can kill you automatically if you're not ready, if you're not capable, if you're not thinking. It's a thinking game, but it's also an action game, but it's also kind of a horror game because of how it is. Bloodborne definitely like a horror game. That game scared the crap out of me at some points. But, you know, Demon's Souls 1 I played, I was alright at. I never got past some of these parts that people are just like, oh, you just gotta roll. Bro, I'm like, no, I can't just roll. Okay, it's like hard for me, or block, or whatever it was. With Demon's Souls 2, that, man, I tried that out. I was just like, forget it, I can't do it. Demon's Souls 3, though, I really enjoyed it. And when I got past that first boss, I was like, yes! Like, I was so happy. It brought me back to how old school games were, where it didn't hold your hand, and they were difficult, which doesn't happen very often. You know, I'm somebody who plays WWE games, you know. They're not difficult. They're just there, and it's like kind of a simulator. This game, it's not a simulator. It's just you live and you die, and if you die, you better try again. You're not getting any farther. You try again. No, you died. Try again. try again. It's one of the older games, old school field games, where it's like, well, you gotta keep doing it. You gotta use your mind. You gotta think. How am I gonna get past this? I gotta learn the pattern. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Do I take this route? Do I take that route? I died again. Crap. Do I go back this way? Do I go back that way? Maybe I should go back. Level up. Maybe try to level up. Do I need to level up? Do I need that weapon? So many things in a thinking game such as Demon Souls, and I love the games. I love them. They're just difficult. Let's see. Now Neo TurboManiac, you don't know about these games. They're called Five Nights at Freddy's, FNAF for short. They're not difficult. They're very not difficult. They're just timed games. You gotta survive from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. But it's not actually obviously 6 hours of a game. You get 5 days that you're supposed to survive. 5 Nights at Freddy's. Now the thing is, you gotta check cameras, you gotta check angles, you gotta close the door, manage your time, manage the energy, watch the fan whirl around for some reason. It's one of those games like I can't get past like a second night, or third night. I can't get past the third night in any of the games. I played 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have them on a tablet, I have them on the computer, I've tried, and I just keep failing. It's difficult because it's not as difficult. It's just I'm bad at it. I just can't do it. Or I'm just so ready to get like a jump scare that I'm just like panicking at what I'm supposed to do. Especially at 4 when these monsters just grow teeth and you're supposedly a child. It's like, that's got to be some kind of really nightmarish crap. Don't play this game at night, by the way. I like flip myself out. And then my kid now, he wants those little stuffed animals from 4, and I'm like, I'll be damned if I turn on the light and then that stuffed animal's not there when I shut off the lights before, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep now. Maybe not. So those are 3. I mean, those 3 games. I said series, but you know, if you want to just condense them into the series, because they are similar. FNAF games, the Demon Souls games. You know, they're very similar. Ninja Spirit, obviously, that's one of them by itself, standalone, that I learned just today when I saw his questions. Now, 3 games not part of a series of franchise that I like. Now, this one really tested my brain, because I was like, oh crap, what? Like, you keep starting naming games, you're like, well, oh, that's a Mario game. That's how. Anything Sonic, that's how. Anything. Most Capcom games have every series a sequel or a prequel or something like that. Those are out. Because you know, I was gonna say like something like Bayonetta, but then Bayonetta 2 was out, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot about that. And something like Monster Hunter, several sequels, prequels, everything like that. So it racked my brain, and then I actually came up and I showed him some of these games. Well, one of the games I definitely showed him. Well, no, I showed him 3 games. Kickle Cubicle. Kickle Cubicle was a puzzle game for the Nintendo. You could play as a frosty snow guy. You could breathe ice, and then you freeze your enemies. And the goal of the game was to actually just get like 3 bags, goodie bags, I guess, from an island. But the thing is that they changed. Every level is different, and there were several levels within a whole map. You had like at least 15 levels sometimes in one whole set level thing, and then a next one, and the next one, and the next one. They were puzzle games, but they were great puzzle games because you had to rack your brain. I was like, all right, some of them were simple, like, all right, freeze this enemy, push him into the water. Now he becomes a bridge. Now I get the goodie bags. I'm done. That's one of them. But then there's enemies that you can't freeze. There's enemies that they throw projectiles at you and you can't freeze the projectiles. There are stages in which it's rigged almost to seem like you can't win it. There's holes in the walls that if you try to push the blocks, it just goes right through the water. There are things that bounce back to you, and then you have a time limit on all this stuff, and if you run out of time, a giant star for some reason just comes in with shades and then crushes you, which confused me as a kid. But you know, it was all in good fun. You know, I would get stumped as a kid. I beat it as an adult, obviously, but it's its own standalone game. Never been redone, remastered, prequel, sequel, nothing. And I don't understand how. It should be one of the top games at Nintendo. Let's see. The other game I have was Bastion. Bastion is a really great game that I liked. You play as an action RPG, and as you're playing, the narrator speaks and talks while you're going around doing stuff. Like if you're shooting a bunch of enemies and like, oh, he busted out his guns and started shooting them up, or you know, you grab your hammer, he's like, he powered up his hammer and did a mighty swing. Or if you fall off, because it's like an island kind of thing where all the platforms, you can fall off the platforms, and he'll be like, oh, the kid fell off this time, but then you know he'll restart it, like maybe he needs to reset himself or something like that. Like the narrator made everything so cool, made you get more engrossed into your adventure, like a big story that you were trying to complete. I never beat the game. It's a pretty long game. I had it for the Xbox 360. I have it for my tablet. I didn't get it for PS3, but it is PS4. It is on sale, so I might try to grab it today and try to actually beat it. You have several weapons that you have: a hammer, swords, guns, arrows, bows and arrows. I'm probably messing them up, but you know, there's different attacks, there's different abilities, there's ways to power them up, there's ways to power yourself up, magic-wise, health-wise, attack-wise, I think. There's several different enemies that you can fight. And like I said, the main grip of it was the narrator, and you're literally dropped into the game, and it doesn't really tell you much. You're just dropped in, and then you're like, okay, well, what's going on? And then through playing the game, you get the narrator's perspective, which is your perspective, and you get to hear about what's going on in this game and what happened. Great game. I really recommend it. I think right now it's $3, $3.50 on the PS4. Get it if you can. And the last one. If anybody knows me, anybody knows my kid, Terraria. Terraria is his own standalone game. Survival. It's Minecraft, but 2D platform style. I think they're working on a second one now, so I think kind of this should count because it's still its own game. But yeah, Terraria is one of those games where you could craft pretty much anything. Craft armors, you craft weapons. So many different bosses, so many different enemies, so many different everything. It's just one of those things where you enjoy because it helps create. You get your creative side out. And you become something, you know, you create almost everything you want. Your own houses, your own town, people come in there, these bosses come after you, and you go to hell, you fight, well, I don't know what it is, wall of flesh, but it's a great game. I bought it for the Android, I bought it for the PS3, and I have it for the PS4 and PS Vita. So, awesome game. So those are my answers to your questions, Neo TurboManiac. Alright, thanks man, thanks cuz. And I'll be putting the link up onto my thing. Thank you.